Bonjour, Kinamagi Nene Ireland Indigenitas, and welcome to this overview of our Week 10 learning plan and classroom announcements. We'll begin today's episode in our classroom stream. You can see there's a saved announcement. That'll be the newsletter. We're going live at midnight. This video is recorded on a Thursday morning for release on Friday when you get this email. At the top, you will always find information for contacts. Students are welcome to contact me by clicking here, and this page is in your Google Classroom, accessible even outside of the Chromebooks through the Google Classroom app using your @sagchipschool.net emails. There is also a Google Voice number. Whenever emailing, please include your name and your student's name. Please be aware there are some things that I can't discuss via text that would need to be an actual phone call. But if it's just needing to let me know something, you're more than encouraged to do such. We have a PDF to our zombie tag fundraiser for the ED team. I'll talk more about that in a moment. And you can see last week's materials here and the October breakfast menu. One thing I did want to point out today is our Padlet, and that's this right here. It allows students quick access to a number of learning tools that we may use in the classroom, some more than others. Like the Ojibwe People's Dictionary, I've been using quite a bit as we've been doing some more with language. We had some of our online stuff, some geography and social studies, reading A to Z. Students are welcome and encouraged to use any of these, even at home. They can still use their school login. So if your students complain they're bored on a Sunday afternoon, never a bad idea to do a little ST math or some NitroType or learn some more language. Let's talk a little bit about some of our announcements. The Nerf Blaster Zombie Tag going to be next weekend, the 28th to the 30th here at SCA. It's put on by our AB team as a fundraiser for our cultural activities. This will be attached in the email that goes home to you, and students have already had a copy. An opportunity to take on a not so scary horde of live zombies, maneuver the course and tag zombies with the mobilization orbs, plus searching for 4 keys needed to unlock the way out of the quarantine zone. It goes from 7 p.m. to 11 on the 28th, 2 to 11 on the 29th, and 2 to 7 on the 30th. If more information comes about, I'll be more than happy to send that to you. Looking at our class newsletter, just a reminder, students do get homework on Tuesdays and Thursdays that is designed to create good habits as far as responsibility. They're usually shorter assignments because the point is more the responsibility, but it's also extra practice for one of the skills that we're working on. Also, any assignment that is not completed during the school day could be taken home and finished there. Step 1 is the homework. Step 2 will be getting students to bring back some of these documents. Some of us are very good at it. Some of us are still developing these skills. If you have questions, please reach out to me. Believe it or not, Friday marks the end of the first quarter. We're a quarter of the way through our academic journey, and it's hard to believe that already. It seems like just yesterday it was 90 degrees in August, and we're already here. Well, who knows what the temperature is going to be on a daily basis, but it's wet. It's a lot wetter. Been an enjoyable time so far with our students. I'm proud to see some of their growth that they've made, and we look forward to really getting ready for their middle school experience. Conferences are currently scheduled for November 2nd and 3rd. More information will come out of that next week, actually including the conference schedule. Those will come from notes from the front office. Our resource spotlight this week is Words Their Way. And Words Their Way is a spelling activity. Word sorts, reads, things like that will help develop their spelling skills. Students are given individualized lessons based on their levels, and they access them through their Google Classroom. Now I have everybody's, but they all have Words Their Way in a week number, and all they have to do is click on it, and then they can take me there now, log in with their sagchipschool.net email and access it right away. I can't do that because I'm not one of them. But they only are responsible for the ones that are at their level, and that's the only ones that show up under the tab for Words Their Way. Weather changes. You may have noticed the Michigan forecast goes from 33 to 73, sometimes in the same day. Make sure students are equipped for these weather changes. They may need a sweatshirt or a jacket here at school. They also may want a pair of shorts that they can change into in the afternoon. As we get colder and colder, we still do go outside, and we don't leave students just sitting inside, missing out on a recess. If they're prepared, at least they won't be chilled. Looking at the things we're learning, we're continuing a chapter on dividing with two-digit divisors. This follows the chapter on division and multiplication and how they're related. I do encourage students to keep working with things like Khan Academy, ST Math, Prodigy, reviewing their place value. It's really helpful if students have access to flashcards at home to master those math facts. It'll make their job a lot easier. Language arts, we're moving into a section where science is going to be kind of the basis of the reading. Social studies, we are wrapped up with some of the pre-colonial era of the Americas. We're looking at West Africa this week, and then we will be moving into colonization. Mystery Science, we're wrapping up our section on food webs and the flow of energy, and we're going to be moving on to the water cycle. Just a reminder, electronics may not be used during the school day. They can choose to turn it off and keep it in their locker, or turn it off and put it in my drawer. Students that are caught using their electronic devices will be asked to take them to the front office and be picked up by a parent guardian. Our language corner this week, these are the words that we're focusing on in our classroom and their translation. To hear more, if you go to the Ojibwe People's Dictionary, there are many speakers using these words. We're all learning together. Some of these might be more familiar, like in the Bakade. I am hungry. Might be a restaurant here in town with that name, you know, or the water park maybe. But you can see what it actually translates to. You'll get to see what the original verb is, like Bakade, which means he or she is hungry, and how ne is added to make it I am hungry in the first person. So we believe here at SCA it's extremely important for students to be learning their language and culture, and being able to take that knowledge and spread it to others. Looking at our week 10 learning plan for next week, you see we have actually a normal week on the schedule for the most part. We'll be looking at new topics in reading, and it's going to be about roller coasters. We're moving into biographies and writing. We have been looking at more like narratives. We're continuing with two-digit divisors and division in math next week, and we'll be finishing the week with an assessment. Science, we're kind of putting our toes in the next unit. Social studies, we're going to start looking at the colonization. Math review and enrichment, you'll see there's a couple geography. That's a separate text that I have decided to use to kind of give that to the students so that when they come around to the end of the year, it won't be the first time they've seen it. And we want to really build up their skills. And geography is one that, because it comes so late in the year, that I want to make sure they've seen it a few times, especially with the fact that we do assess student growth. And you can see our tech right there, our web blocks, and you can see a suggested pacing. What I've begun to do in class is students do get a checklist, but they also get an opportunity where I say, okay, here's some that you have to do today, and here's some that you can kind of choose which days you're going to do it. Some students are pulled for SEL during this time. So that makes it hard today that everyone does this on the same day. Because then there's a group that's missing 45 minutes. You can see our small group activities there. You'll also notice that it says guest speaker. And our guest speaker is going to be Dr. Guerrero. And I'm going to put this link in your email. And you can see a quick I'll play the first minute or so here.
Hello, everybody. My name is Julian Guerrero Jr., and I have the pleasure of serving as the current Director of the Office of Indian Education here at the United States Department of Education, or ED. I joined the department back in August of 2020 during the pandemic, and I've just been hooked on making sure the OIE can grow, strengthen its capacity, its means of collaboration, and its commitment to continued constituent services to grantee communities throughout the country.
And I will link this in our Google Stream as well. But Dr. Guerrero will be visiting SCA next week. And we are fortunate enough to have a chance for our students to do a question and answer session with him. It'll be a busy and action-packed next school week. Like I said, today on Friday brings the end of the first quarter. So it's a good chance to sit back, reflect, see where we're at, see where we need to grow, chart that next course. I always highlight to students that we're key on growing. Some things will have gone well in this quarter, some things could go better. We want to focus on the better and improving where we're at. Before too long, we'll be looking up and saying, welcome to middle school. If you have any questions, please reach out to me at mirling@sagchipschool.net. Otherwise, I hope everyone has a minute. Minwa, Pamapi.